Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's KIM in the SAV, Kim out of Savannah, Georgia, of BetterBodyCrew.com. And guys, in this video, really quickly, what I'm going to do is explain to you one of the credit card hacks that I got from my recession-proof fam. When I say some of the best money I spent in 2020 was my mentorship about just helping me to become more financially literate. Baby, y'all just y'all don't even know, but stay tuned. And what I want to know, let me tell you right now, if you want to be put on my list where I really, hey Janelle, what's going on, Betty Oglesby, if you want to be put on my list where I'm going to be sharing later on down the pipeline. Many of you have already asked, hey, I want to find out some more about this credits and tax stuff that you're sharing. If you want to be put on my list so that you can be a part of that community that I speak to directly and get some more information about it when I open it up in a more organized way, then drop a comment below that says put me on the list or something of that nature. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, you need to text me your email address. Text me your email because you probably don't want to put your email all over YouTube, but my text is 6788-617-711. Y'all stop asking, how do I get in touch with you? It'll be in the description box, and I always sing my phone number. Okay. What's going on, Shantae? Hey, Steffi McLean. So guys, listen, I am all about learning how to reverse engineer stuff and be more strategic. You don't know what you don't know until somebody tells you so. And so what I'm learning with recession proof, and I mean, oh my gosh, since I bought that in November, I have stayed up countless nights just listening to the replays about trust, about LLCs, business funding, and things of that nature. And it's just mind-blowing what all is out there. And so I will tell y'all this. After my divorce, my credit was shot. Well, it was shot before then. It was shot before then because of numerous bouts of unemployment and just periods of trying to figure things out in my business. Before I had the cash flow, it was just very, very hard to make ends meet. But after divorce, the credit was even worse. So I was like, oh crap. How am I going to rebuild my life when my credit is so shoddy? So even if you're making good money, if your credit is not up to par, you got a problem, baby. So being a part of this community with people who know so much more than me has been priceless. And one of the things they talk about is being strategic when you apply for credit cards. I was always taught that credit cards were bad. You just use them for gas and, oh, they're trying to get you. And the recession proof family has taught me a whole nother way. Credit cards are bad if you let the credit card companies use you. But if you use them, oh my gosh, it can totally change your life because you can shift a lot of your expenses to basically being free. More about that later. Anywho, I recently had to rent a car, right? And so I'm renting this car. And when I got my confirmation, I rented it through Priceline. So when I got this confirmation, because I was like, I have a hotel hack. How can I get a rental car hack? So when I got my confirmation through Priceline, what do you know? At the bottom, they're like, hey, we have a Priceline card. So I'm like, okay, with X amount of points, you can get Priceline stuff for free. So I'm like, this might be my rental car hack. So then now normally the old Kim would have just applied and prayed, right? My whole strategy was, I hope and pray I get it. Y'all, hope and prayer is great, but it's not an actual strategy. Okay. So because I'm a part of the recession proof family, here is how I now think about things. So I see the Priceline card and I'm like, okay, cool. Now, every card has two things. They're backed by a merchant. A merchant processes their payments, and then they're backed by a bank. So the first thing I do is say, what bank backs the Priceline card? So you go to the handy dandy Googler, right? And then I see that the Priceline card is backed by Barclays. I don't have a Barclays card yet. That means I'm not in their database. I don't have a relationship with them. So now I need to find out, what does Barclays look for? What credit score? So I went to the Googler and I think I said they will take, don't quote me on this, but I have it somewhere. But just for example, it says something like they'll take you as low as 680, but they really prefer a 720. Okay, cool. So now the next question is, what bureau does Barclays pull from? See, you got 3 bureaus. And y'all do know that these bureaus are not federal companies. They're privately owned. Certain cards report to certain bureaus, and that's why your score can be a little skewed between the bureaus, right? So if you know that you want a Barclays card and you're like, well, that's fine. They want a 720. I got a 750 on my Equifax. But baby, if you have a 620 on your Experian and they pull from Experian, then you have a problem. Come to find out, Barclays pulls from TransUnion. So I look at my TransUnion score and I'm like, okay, but I looked at my TransUnion score on my Credit Karma. Now, for those of you who do not know, Credit Karma is a free service. And with the free, it's cool to have stuff that's free, but you often pay a price for free. Huh?
Someone's at the door.
Okay. Well, we ain't expecting nobody, so I'll see in a minute. But you often pay a price for free. Well, the price that you pay with Credit Karma is the fact that they give you a credit range, but it's not 100% accurate. So my FICO is a much better gauge of where your credit score is, and they go very, very granular with a lot of different things. Did you guys know there are different FICO scores, right? You got your FICO 8, your FICO 9, your FICO 4. There's different credit scores for different things. If you didn't know this, you need to educate yourself on this, because the score that they're pulling for an auto loan is not the same score they're pulling for if you need a home mortgage or your credit cards. So these are the things that you need to know. So guess what? When I pull my TransUnion, which part Barclays uses, when I pull my TransUnion, it is quite a difference between my Credit Karma TransUnion and my FICO TransUnion. So do you see how understanding the process that the banks use, that the credit cards use, understanding that process and reverse engineering that process makes a huge difference in when you apply and how you apply. If you want to increase, I'm thinking of everything in terms of my trading class. But if you want to increase your odds enhancers, basically your probability of getting the things that you want in this life, you need to know the process and the procedures for how the banks think and how lenders work. And so now I know exactly when I need to apply for this card, to get this card, to make it so that the next time I have to rent a car, because I will be doing a lot more traveling, and not by plane initially, but by rental car. Like I said, I got my hotel hacks, but now I'm getting my rental car hacks in play, because basically my whole goal is to make it so that everything I do is practically free. Just by shifting some of my income, some of my expenses to these cards that have rewards for the things that I do anyway. All right. And hopefully that is your play too. And again, the recession proof family, like, oh my gosh, the gems that they have dropped on me, the connections that they have, the information they share, the experiences that I can piggyback on. I would so much rather prefer to listen to someone else's mistakes and learn from them than make these mistakes on my own. At 41 and a half years old, I don't have the type of time I used to have. So why would I choose to do things the hard way? Does this make sense to you guys? I hope it does. So again, when you are going to apply for a credit card, don't take the name of the card, find out what bank backs it. Look up the credit score that bank prefers. Then find out what bureau that bank pulls from. And make sure that your, make sure you need some of those hotel hacks. Okay. I will make a note of that, JLo06. But once you find out what bank backs the card, then what you want to do is see what credit score they prefer, and you want to make sure that you are looking in a place where your credit score is actually accurate. Credit Karma is cool. If you cannot afford my FICO right now, I pay for the $40 a month plan because I'm really heavy into this stuff and I want to know all my crap. But if you can't afford that right now, just stick with the Credit Karma and just know that it's going to be a range. Now, your actual score could be a little bit lower or it could be a little bit higher. And so that's going to be something that you kind of have to play with, but eventually work yourself up to getting the My FICO so that you are much more specific, much more accurate. I think when you're talking in terms of interest rates and percentages and things like that, y'all know these percentages add up. And so for me, the investment of $40 a month for My FICO to have a better gauge of exactly where I am so I know how to maneuver is so much more worth it, so that I'm not implying, prematurely and then getting a hard inquiry on my report, which drives my points down. If I'm going to get that inquiry, I'm going to get that cash flow. I'm going to get that credit limit. Does that make sense to you? Hopefully it does. Let me know down below how you feel about this video. Did it help you at all? Does it make sense? How many of you are scared or have been scared of credit cards in the past, mostly because of miseducation or abuse due to miseducation? Am I changing your thoughts about how to use cards to mitigate some of your expenses? I hope so. Let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, I want you to hit that subscribe button and bang the bell to the right, ding dong, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be the first to know. All right, bye y'all.